Greetings, dear beloved, dear pastors, bishops, apostles, evangelists, and all the ministers in the body of Christ. I welcome you tonight, to start our studies in a new course entitled Pastoral Studies. What are we going to cover in this pastoral studies? We are going to cover 12 lessons. With the 12 lessons, you have to pay $50 and then you get your diploma in pastoral studies. If you have a diploma already, then you can get a degree in pastoral ministry. The content, lesson 1, we're going to talk about church government. Lesson 2, the Pentecostal pastor. Lesson 3, the pastor's character. Lesson 4, the pastor's training. Lesson 5, the pastor's calling. Lesson 6, the Pentecostal meeting. Lesson 7, special services. Lesson 8, we're going to talk about pastoral visitation. Lesson 9, counseling. Yes, which is very important. Lesson 10, we're going to talk about church membership. Lesson 11, church discipline. While lesson 12, we're going to talk about church financing. Thank you very much. Let's start today our first lesson entitled Church Government. Yes. Point A. Church government is ordained by God. My dear, the church government never been ordained by a human being. A human being cannot ordain the church of God, but only God. He is the one who ordained, yes, the church government. Let's see some scripture reference. And God has set some in the church. He set first apostles, secondarily prophets, thirdly teachers, and after that, after teachers, we have miracles, then different gifts, like the gift of healing, the gift of helping, the gift of government, the gift of diversities, of tongues, and so on. Consider the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 28. Here, God just gives what He can give to you. Now, it means that if you have the gift of healing, don't fight the one who is having the gift of the diversities of tongues. If you have the gift of the diversities of tongues, don't fight the one who is having the gift of helping people, the gifts of government, and so on. And then all of these gifts will work under the ministry of people who have been ordained or settled, as we start firstly, apostle, prophets, teachers, and miracles, and so on. So sometimes there is much unwise criticism of organization. Now, this unwise and unjust criticism comes mainly from the following of sources, or the following two sources. Source number 1: a person who has been saved from the denominational church would desire to be set free from the bondage of the traditional church structure. And therefore swings to the other extreme of discarding all church government. This was a character number 1, or just a source number 1, a source of criticism, while a person who have been serving from the different denomination church, and he desire to set free from the bondage of the traditional church structure. A source number 2 of criticism is a person who refuses to submit to discipline. Imagine what kind of people are we if you refuse to submit to discipline and therefore adopt an independent attitude and a spirit and promotes the so-called the church. So a church without discipline here is not a church. And we cannot just come from nowhere and adopt or promote any kind of behavior which is not religious behavior. And we say we are Christian or we are church leaders. This is fake. And this is not a church. One may meet other reasons for criticism. So here we just started 2 reasons of criticism, while someone who have been serving as a denomination church would like to be set free by a traditional church structure. Number 1, people or person who are refusing discipline, to be disciplined by the church. So we have so many other resources. One may meet other reasons for criticism being directed against church organization. Yes. Here it means it is very important and necessary that the Christian be fully persuaded that God himself has ordained the church government and that the Bible clearly teaches a divine plan for organization in the church. So the organization we are having in the church were not planned by human being, but it too was planned by God. So let's God himself, who is the promoter, who is the founder, discipline his people and set the organization of his church by himself. Without organization, there cannot be no government or discipline. My dear, if we don't have organization, we cannot have also the government. We cannot have the discipline in the church. But as we are now having the organization, the discipline must be there to discipline the man of God. Also, to set people, to show people the way of how they should behave or the way of their living. If these are both scripture and necessary and unnecessary, the logical conclusion is that organization is of God. So no man should just type his chest saying that the organization is mine. No, the organization always remains for God. Let us quote again from the 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 28, from Weymouth's translation. Weymouth's translation was an author who also translated the Bible into many ways. And by God's appointment, they are in the church. By God's appointment means what? According to the man of God, Weymouth's translation, he said, by the God's appointment, they are first in the church, apostles, prophets, teachers. Then comes powers and the ability to cure, to heal diseases, or render assistance or powers of organization.